Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Push to Talk podcast, a show centered around FPS, everything going on from extraction shooters to battle royales to 3v3, whatever fucking Highguard was. We'll talk about that
Fantasy.
in a little bit. Yeah, fantasy meets FPS meets, Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards. I'm not sure what's going on there. But we usually lean more towards the tactical, realistic shooters in the space. I'm your host, Big Fry. I'm joined here today by my co-host, as always, Crash. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing all right. Life is crazy. I'm still gaming in the evenings though. Been still hitting the ABI a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think. We got you remember the pumpkin event where you could take the pumpkins in and then they would get better?
Yeah.
They're doing that now with horses, and they're called, and you upgrade it to a Pegasus.
Right.
So now we're all playing My Little Pony.
Yeah.
All my homies are bronies now, and we're taking ponies into ABI. So we're spiraling a little bit over there, but
Fair enough.
but it's pretty fun.
Well,
I'm just laughing at it at this point. It's gonna happen, and kind of looking forward to the next thing a little bit.
I think we're going to be talking about potentially the next thing on this show, which is a good
Massive
thing.
amount of stuff to talk about today, man.
Absolutely. If you guys are listening to us on Spotify or Apple, as always, you guys know what to do. Hit the 5-star review. It helps push the podcast up in the algorithm, gets us out to more and more people, and it's completely free to support the channel. If you're over on YouTube, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the show, and while you're down there, like and subscribe to both myself and Crash. And if you guys want to support this show and get early access to episodes, as well as a bunch of other goodies, go over to patreon.com/BigFry. Do all of the things and all of the stuffs that help support your guys' favorite shows. And hopefully we're one of them.
The other thing that people miss is no one asks how Big Fry's doing. How are you, man? What have you been up to?
Shit, man. Dude, I don't know. Life's a blur. I sit down and I have been going since like 8:30, just ripping content all day. So it's one thing after another. I'm doing good. I'm living the dream, man.
I saw you getting into the Ashes creation action over there. Some wild stuff,
Dude.
like
So we're an FPS podcast. You and me play shooters, but my other one true love is MMOs. And so watching that whole thing implode from a content perspective, it's like, oh fuck, well, here's the next big thing. But as an actual player, it sucks to see, because I actually had a lot of high hopes for it. But them's the breaks in the gaming industry, as we've
man.
As we've been learning, speaking to certain people.
We have. As we've been
industry.
entering developers, we're finding she's a little wild out there, man. It's pretty cutthroat, and like just that whole thing. Like, I'm not familiar with MMOs that much, but like it seems like they worked on that thing forever.
10
pulled
or
the plug.
12 years.
Yeah. And just pull the plug.
Yeah. And so, okay, we have an interview coming up soon. Crash and I have already recorded it. You guys are going to find out more soon. I don't know when we could say it, but their runway and what they were talking about, what they were spending in that. Now imagine that in an MMO with that networking framework of, thousands of players. Dude.
A bunch of money went somewhere. That's all I know.
Yeah, 100%.
And the world keeps turning,
as it always does. All right, with that, man, I think it's time. Let's get into the meta breakdown. All right, so the big news in the FPS space over the last week or so has been the release and subsequent. Do we say failure? Do we say implosion? I don't know if we're quite there yet.
I'm thinking about setting up some odds and maybe a bookie to see, like, is by the time this episode goes live, are the servers still going to be on?
Right.
I think that'd be a fun little bit to have.
Right.
I don't know.
Obviously we're talking about Highguard, the new game from Wildlight Entertainment. It's a 3v3. I don't know what you even call it. It's a 3v3 action shooter. It has elements of attack and defend. It has elements of a little bit of extraction, a little bit of capture the flag, all mixed into this fantasy, like Realm Royale, Paladins looking, magenta game. So it released on January 26th, 2026 to overwhelmingly negative reviews. It was rated at 17%. It got completely review bombed. And this is
who could have seen this coming?
Well, I mean, it's one of those self-fulfilling things though, right? Like everybody went into it. We obviously saw the trailer at the Game Awards. Everybody went into it already ready to hate it. And so then when it gets review bombed, you get the people that'll just, like, it's a self-fulfilling thing. Like, see, I told you I told you it was gonna get like
Yeah.
review bombed as I'm
Yeah.
typing the negative review, you know?
I didn't review it, but I fell into that a little bit because I don't remember one of our last episodes I talked about how like our show has already lasted longer than the Highguard servers are going to last. Like
Yeah.
I said that in one of our shows already, but people, I don't know. We're going to get into some good takes because it's something you could, it was like watching a car wreck in slow motion, man. And it wouldn't like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And there it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how players and everybody can see this, but the people with money that fund games can't. I don't understand.
Well, it's one of those things where, you know, they said they've been working on it for 4 years. And within the last 4 years, you've seen the industry shift, right? It's not like you've been working on this for a year and then it came out and the market switched and you just, you know, it caught you by surprise. You've watched it. But I don't know. I don't know what it looks like to make a multiplayer game in this space because, like we've talked about in the past, you have to appeal to a wide demographic because you need to be able to bring in cash flow to be able to support the studio, right? You know, when we were sorry, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but it's
No,
such
it's
a
good.
pertinent point. That's why whenever we talk to Joe and even in the next interview, that's why I always ask if you could make any game right now, what would it be?
Yeah.
Because there's that lag from the time that you start making a game and how long it takes. Things are so dynamic in the industry and the markets and what people want that maybe by the time you get to the finish line of your game, it's not going to hit as good because that window already passed. So that's why I always love asking that question. Like if you could make anything right now, what would it be?
Yeah, it's a great question. And like, well, even what we saw with Transients, right? When we announced it, everybody wanted us to make multiplayer. We took a lot of heat. They were just like, why are you making single player? Make what you know, like this podcast is built around multiplayer FPS. That's what I'm known for. And we saw throughout the development of that over the course of the next 3 years, people are getting sick and tired of multiplayer games, right? We're seeing the shift to now, I want co-op, I want PvE, I want to just play with my friends. I don't want to deal with hackers. So the market shifts very, very quickly. And so maybe they just got caught up in like, they wanted to make the game they wanted to make and it just doesn't have massive market appeal. But I don't know. I just don't think it's really that good of a game. It's one of those things where if there was some redeeming qualities there, I think we could, chalk it up to they made a game they wanted to make, but a lot of the design decisions don't make any sense to me. But you have some takes that I want to get into, and then I have a couple of things that I got to say myself.
We might bounce back and forth, but it sounds like what we're kind of getting to frame this conversation with is like we each kind of have a good, bad, and ugly thing.
Yeah.
And I want to be perfectly clear with the audience, and you guys can roast me if you want to. I never got around to playing it. I am one of the people that from the trailer, I didn't really want to play it, but I have, I think, some pretty valuable and hopefully good takes on the marketing and what went around the development and everything like that. But I'm going to start out with my good. What was good about the whole debacle?
Okay.
And I'm a glass half full guy.
Yeah, you are.
So this is going to be all right. I think the cool part about it is if we're taking a step back and looking at what was awesome, it was cool to see an FPS game take the headlines at the Game Awards. Like they had all those other different games and stuff. And it was cool that, I mean, we'll get into Jeff in a little bit, but like someone with that big a pull in the industry thought an FPS shooter should go in the finale spot. Like, I mean, it's good for it wasn't, but it could have been good for the genre. It could have, but I guess it was cool. It's also cool to see bigger studios try different things. And I think it's going to tie right into my bad when I talk about, the pluses and minuses of doing a shadow drop and not getting any feedback from your player base. But it's cool to see a bigger studio. They subsequently removed it from their Steam page, but they said that they were the makers of Apex Legends and Titanfall. Then they oddly removed that, that's weird.
Why do you think they did?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because people know that like it's not like a big secret.
I think it hurt their marketing.
Files. Sorry.
No, dude.
You can't put it back in the box. Dude, is what I'm saying.
Side tangent. I have been following that whole debacle. Holy fuck!
I try not to, dude.
It's so crazy.
It makes my stomach hurt, and I get depressed, and I go to bed. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. But let's draw some parallels. You can't put the shit back in the box.
No,
once it's out there. So I think removing that is just a weird energy. Like no one's gonna forget the games you guys made. I don't know. But
Yeah,
just to try to finish my good point, it's cool to see bigger studios like that still experiment, like, so we're not getting the same kind of extraction shooter or BR thing where all those
true.
games repeat forever. Like, I give them credit for trying something different. They took a bunch of stuff, put it together from different games. It didn't play that well, but it could have. And like, I guess we know now, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, it usually from the big shooters, like you get the same, like COD, man, you get the same thing every
Yeah,
year.
for
Battlefield
sure.
to a pretty big extent, it feels pretty similar, uh, title to title. And then we had the BRs forever where everything was a BR. Then we got into extraction shooter, everything was extraction shooter. It's cool to see someone try to break the mold,
Yeah.
and I respect them for trying to do something different.
It's one of those things where I think the same thing happens to Apex Legends if they don't shadow drop it. I think if we knew about Apex Legends in advance, I think people would have shit on it the exact same way they did with this one. Maybe not as hardcore, because I think, as time has gone on, the internet has become way more toxic. But yeah, I think from the jump, I don't know if having, your name attached to some of the most beloved shooters, and specifically Titanfall, a game that people have been asking for a long time. I've seen so many people think that Wildlight Entertainment is actually Respawn. As dumb as that is.
Yeah.
They say like, "Oh, you guys couldn't build Titanfall, but you built this." So maybe they just wanted to separate themselves from that. But no, one of my good takes was outside of the actual design itself, I thought the game actually had a pretty decent amount of polish. Like animation work was decent on the guns. There weren't a lot of bugs when I played it. Like it was a competent piece of software,
That's what yeah, that was
you
also
know?
the bummer to me too, is like I could tell that
Yeah,
like the graphics are pretty good. Some people were saying that the optimization had some trouble, but
for
that's kind
sure.
of to be expected on, like you said, a piece of software that is that intricate.
Yep.
But like, man, it just kind of sucks because you could tell the devs are talented,
Yep.
and it sucks that their resources, their time, and their energy was put to that. It's like
Right.
a
Now,
bummer. Like
but
that's what we got.
and that's the conversation, and I go back and forth with it's like you should have looked at the market, you should have heard feedback, but like maybe this is what they wanted to make, and so I look at the negative review bombing, and it's like, man, if we're not able to be creative and put the things out that we want to create, that sucks. But you also have to think about the business side too, right? Um, I want to talk,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to talk about the marketing because I think that's your next
Yeah.
point.
That's my bad thing. And I think the thing that hurt
Yeah,
them the most, I'll just get right into it because I'm most passionate about this thought,
yeah,
is the fact that you had a trailer. And if you look at any kind of social media, or they have to have marketing people that look at the reactions to that and saw the reactions were not good.
yeah,
By them going silent, which may have been their first thing, if they're super confident in their game,
yeah,
boom, here's the trailer. All right, the game's going to speak for itself. The problem with that is with the negative feedback they got from the trailer, they let the internet push the narrative.
yeah,
They took themselves out of the conversation, and they let those negative talks and those negative headlines and all that stuff and those topics and stuff push wherever it wanted to go,
yeah,
and it went negative. They didn't fight back at all, and they just let it go into the cesspool
yep.
of what people thought this game was. Well, Crash, what could they have done? Well, thanks for asking, public opinion. Um, it would have been cool to maybe at that point say, hey, we need to figure some of this stuff out and maybe start communicating about here's what we're doing. This is the devlog. This is all the stuff that went into the game. This is why we designed it this way. This is why it looks this way. This is why you should be excited about it. Maybe do a beta test and say, because I mean, you could chalk this back up to the good. They already dropped a 5v5 mode. I saw a lot of the problems were with 3v3 on a massive map. They already
Yep.
added more players in a patch, so that's awesome that they're listening.
Yep.
That could have been done in a beta test. And if you wanted to still keep the mystique of hiding the gameplay, you could have done that with some creators, or had some NDA type stuff. It happens all the
Yep.
time, and you probably would have got some of that big feedback right away. But they missed an opportunity to push the narrative in a positive direction because they got a lot of feedback, and they could have specifically addressed it with some press releases
I
and
agree.
said, we see a lot of people are saying this. Well, actually, the reason we're doing it this way is because of this. And like, the reason you should be excited about this game is because it's not like anything you've ever played before. And going on like that, even though the art style makes it look like any number
Yeah.
of games you might have already played,
Yeah.
it's not. So like they could have really helped themselves a lot by setting the narrative instead of letting it spiral.
Well, and I think the big thing too is we found out after it was supposed to be a shadow drop, but
Mhm.
Jeff reached out to them and wanted to display it at the Game Awards. And if you're in the final slot at the Game Awards, you don't turn that down. Nobody
You
turns
can't.
that down. It'd be the dumbest thing ever. They got so
So
many eyeballs on it.
I kind of feel bad for him a little bit. Do you, if you feel that like those, they had a plan, and I like, in your opinion, what would it have been like if they would have turned that down and just shadow dropped?
I think if they shadow dropped it, it wouldn't have went into overwhelmingly negative. I think they wouldn't, like right now it's sitting at mixed. Don't get me wrong. The reviews are starting to come back, which is good, but I don't think it goes that low, and I don't think they have to climb their way out of it. And I don't think we get the implosion doom and gloom on day one. I think we get, oh, this is a new game. Oh, it doesn't cost me anything. I'll try it out. And I think the response would have been, it's not really my thing. I think the player size and stuff, I think they're still fucked. And I think that's still going to happen regardless, but I don't think they receive the backlash that they do. And
Yeah.
obviously hindsight, they probably feel the same way, because they've been getting beat up the last month. And even when they
Yeah.
were silent about it, because like to your point, you know, they could have did this with a dev log. They probably didn't have any of that ready to go because
That's
it wasn't
true.
in the
And I don't
marketing
think that,
pipeline,
and
right?
to the, you know, to their credit, I don't think the trailer was ready to go either from what it sounded like. So they had to like whip a trailer together
Yep.
too.
It's not a good
And
call to
like,
pivot like that when, especially coming from Apex Legends. You saw what happened when they shadow dropped it. That game blew up to the big. All they did was, and you can tell that was the plan, because they had the influencer event in LA the same way they did with Apex Legends. Why didn't you just mirror that and just go, hey, we've
yeah.
been here before. This is what we've been working on for
Yeah,
years. Boom, boom.
I do think Apex hit a sweet spot because that's when BRs are reaching a feverish pitch, and there
Yep.
really wasn't that much of an alternative to PUBG.
Yep.
It was kind of like the first alternative to PUBG, and you know, PUBG has like pretty hardcore movement and recoil mechanics and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Apex dropped with an arcadey. I'm not saying casual because it's sweaty as hell, but
Yeah.
like an arcadey counterpart to that and a different option for people that like BRs but wanted something different. So I think they hit in a sweet spot with their shadow drop, where this one people might not have known what to do with this game if it just completely shadow dropped out of nowhere. But the one thing I'm going to be really interested to watch is this kind of rekindles my interest in the black budget development cycle.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to get to see what happens if you give yourself a chance to act on feedback that these devs didn't get.
Yeah.
Because if you guys watched our show, go ahead and check it out. We talked about black budget, everything going on with it. And now they took it offline, and now they have an opportunity to pivot off all that and take that feedback and change the game and hopefully make it a lot better. So I'm really interested now, especially seeing what Highguard did, to see the opposite kind of path and see what black budget does now that they have a chance to act on this. Because Highguard didn't get a chance to act on anything, man. They locked that game in. This is what it's going to be. This is what we're launching. Radio silent. Here you go. They were super confident in it. And I think they needed to pivot after they got the reaction from Game Awards, man.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I think honestly, and I said it from the jump, I said they should have launched in early access. They should have said, hey, we want to build this and base off that feedback. We want you in to try it. We have the marketing, or we have the storefront and stuff if you want to support during early access, and pivot to that to make it more community focused. And I think the blowback wouldn't have been as hard either. A lot of things they could have done, but
What's your bad?
My bad is, okay, so you want to talk about the internet and the toxicity, right? I'm noticing that the conversation around Highguard, from the toxic positivity standpoint, is insane. The thing that I've noticed is everybody who talks about how much they like the game never tells you why they like the game, or they never really show clips of them playing it. A lot of it is, man, so many people are shitting on this game, but I love it. And it's all just, it feels like you don't actually like it. You're just reacting kind of as a counterpart to the negative wave. That's what I've noticed a lot of. And I'm also noticing journalists jumping in and calling it a hate campaign. I've been seeing that being thrown around a lot, that this game is just being review bombed and there's a hate campaign and it's all these internet trolls. And it,
So so there's someone out there that's like like coordinating a campaign. Like,
yeah,
everybody join my Kickstarter to review bomb this game. We're
right.
gonna get together. I'll ship in the bricks
Like,
and
could it
we can go get
be
a
that maybe you just kind of made a mid game, you know, to the point of the interview you guys are going to be seeing next week. We have a massive part of that conversation where we talk about how developers just sometimes going to have to own it, right? You kind of just have to look at what you did. And we've already pointed out, just from outside perspective, what you could have done marketing wise to change that perception. It's like, there's so many things you could have done better, or at least different, to hopefully get a different outlook. And us pointing that out isn't a hate campaign. I don't hate anybody at the studio. To the counterpoint, I actually think they're very talented. I just think
yeah.
they have a concept that didn't hit. Right?
Yeah. Because I mean, we've seen games, like, to that point, we've seen games that have had way longer development cycles that aren't as polished as that.
Yep.
Like, they put a game together.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
yeah, I thought the worst part of it was just how toxic everyone got. And I'm not even saying the negative stuff. I'm saying just both sides of it. Like, people were like rooting for it or against it like it's a damn sports team, man. I don't know. They were like rabid about it. And that is funny that you mentioned that, because I really haven't seen any clips of people like, check out this sick Highguard clip, guys. Like,
yeah, exactly. Every single tweet. And I was watching, man. I was in the trenches just looking at the conversation. And yeah, I never saw anybody get like a sick 3-piece and go and post it to socials. And to the point of the stats, not a lot of people are even playing it, you know? So it's one of those things where, like, you can grandstand all you want and say it's a good game, and that's fantastic. You know, we'll let the game speak for itself at the end of the day. I think if the game is good, there will be people playing it, and it will be able to sustain that player base, and the studio will thrive. And that's free market. I don't think that's a hate campaign to point out statistics, and I'm really getting tired of that.
And I think it also shows like the gap between like big gaming journalism and the players.
Yeah.
And just how chalked it is, man.
Oh, it's
like,
fucked. Yeah.
how they have to be positive. And guys, let me let you in on a little secret. How it works is they write positive reviews on games.
Yep.
They continue to get early access to the big titles because the studios know they're going to write good stuff.
Yep.
So that's how it works. And I'm sure most of the people that listen to the show already know that kind of, like, that's kind of how it works.
Do.
But I think with this, it was like on full display.
Oh yeah.
With Jeff saying, you guys are going to apologize to me. This game is going to be so awesome. You had all the Kotaku articles about, you guys are just hating on it. It's actually a good game. And it's like, dude, and even the people on the internet arguing that it's amazing or it's not, it's still a small fraction of the almost 100,000 people that gave it a chance. If there's a free to play game and it's good, people will play it. That's just the bottom line. And they're not. So you just can, I mean,
that's it.
You can just straight up see the disconnect and the dishonesty with the big media outlets. And
well, and you know, that's a whole other podcast topic, but to that point, YouTubers do the same thing. A lot of YouTubers do. And that's why I think you start to see who's being weeded out there, because I think with YouTube, the way the I don't want to call it the algorithm, but the way the mindset is changing with YouTube, it used to be, if you're not first, you're last. If you're not first out the door with the opinion, the reaction to this trailer, you're losing views. I don't think it's that way anymore. I think YouTube, and I think a lot of people who watch it are looking for that human connection. People are going to watch Crash to watch the new Gray Zone Warfare trailer. And if Crash is 2 days late on it, it does not matter. I want to watch Crash react to that, and I want to hear his thoughts on it. You don't have to be first anymore. But with these gaming journalists, they're still stuck in that, like, we need early access to this. We need to be able to get keys, so we need to be able to write positive reviews, so we're staying on the whitelist for it. It's all bullshit.
Well, I mean, they do kind of have a monopoly on that. Like, we have IGN posting like big trailers and stuff. Really, I think they do this with smaller games, so they make sure they stay in good. Like, we're going to show some of the first GTA 6 stuff.
Right.
And then for those of you playing at home, they're going to put ads on that. And then, you know, they get the new game. They get more ad revenue with more clicks. So they keep getting the juicy exclusive content by being nice to everyone. So no, I get that. And I appreciate your words on that too. That's why I've always done a face cam on my videos, because I like watching that. I like watching the person talk and like connecting with the person making the video. That's why I've always done the face cam thing over on on my channel. But yeah, man, it showed a lot of that stuff with the disconnect between players and media.
Yep.
And it's just like on full display.
Yeah.
Like you can just plain as day see
And,
it.
and the one thing that you'll notice, the trifecta, the Mexican standoff that's going on is the gamers are shitting on the product, whereas the journalists are then shitting on the gamers.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. And then once you have that situation, then it implodes and it starts on fire, because now the gamers are looking at, well, the game sucks. You're telling me it's good, and you're telling me that I'm bad for thinking that it's bad, and it just turns into a whole shit show.
And the algorithm gets to algorithming
Yep.
and puts everybody against each other and everybody's
Exactly.
feeds and just lets it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's wild, dude. There's a whole thing about like dead internet theory and like
Right?
algorithms and stuff. And like I wish I had the time to make a video on like how insane that just algorithms
Yeah.
have changed society.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as someone from the 1900s,
Yeah.
I lived before the internet, where you actually
Yep.
talk to people, and it's crazy just how different stuff is, how different you get your news, how different you get your advertisements,
Yep.
how different you get your gameplay articles, how like it's all served to you, and the way they're manipulated and the way people get pissed at each other. It's insane how different just being a human is now
Yeah.
than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, again, that's a whole other topic on
Sorry,
top of
I'm
it.
like
So
spacing
no,
out on
you're,
like
you're
giant
absolutely
stuff.
right though. It's crazy. But and the thing is, to wrap this all up with game development, as a developer, you also, like you said, at the end of the day, you have to get ahead of it. You have to be able to control the narrative so that shit doesn't affect your bottom
It
line.
snowballed bad.
Big time. Yeah.
Just to end it and kind of like bring it all back. I see your bad as like some of the gameplay said it didn't click with you. So I would love to hear your take on like the actual gameplay.
Sure.
Of, like
So
what was chalked about it, because I have an opinion from watching a lot of it.
Sure. Moment to
I'd
moment
love to hear your
gameplay
take.
is you jump into a match, you pick one of four bases, your team votes on it, and then you spend a little bit of time reinforcing it. So it's kind of, it reminded me of Rainbow Six. You put like some reinforcements on walls, and then you run out and you like loot, and you like mine rocks to get like currency to then purchase upgraded gear. A shield breaker comes in the middle of the map or wherever it is, and then the teams fight over it. So we have elements of Rainbow Six, like attack and defend. We have elements of like Rust, like open world kind of survival, smashing rocks, Minecraft. We have a capture the flag that happens in the middle, and then the first team to capture it has to escort it to the enemy base. So now it goes back to attack and defend. The reinforcement stage at the beginning is completely useless, because a team it could get into your base like in no time flat. When you're playing Rainbow Six, if you have reinforced walls, you got to think twice. It's a slower pace. You have to now think about different entry points. Do we have somebody that can breach this? And it's a thinking thing, right? Whereas then this, as soon as you get into the base with the shield breaker, well, let me just bust out my hammer and smash through the wall. It might take 1 or 2 extra swings, but it slows them down by like 0.2 seconds. It's not a big deal. So that whole phase at the beginning is useless. When you die, a lot of the stuff that you gathered goes away. And then as they do damage to the base, if you're on the defending side and you're getting your shit pushed in and you actively defend against an attack, it damages their base somehow. So there's a lot of elements of it that I just don't think it was designed that well. They might have had some fun times, like you're riding horses around and you can shoot on horseback, which I guess is kind of cool. But a lot of the elements together, I don't think, at least for me, it didn't click very well. And half the round felt irrelevant.
You're just not playing it right.
I mean, sure, but here's the thing, man.
But even I will say, as someone who watched it, the first however many of the minutes of the round all looked the same. It looked tedious mouse clicking, like farming that stuff and buying the stuff and reinforce. It wasn't like in Rainbow Six. It's like, okay, we're going to reinforce this. We're going to put a rotate over here. This guy's going to play off site. We're going to expand site just a little bit. We're going to have a roam. We're going to be able, hey, if you get pushed back, rotate through here. This is like you think about what you're doing with the reinforcement. That all just seemed like really tedious.
It felt like there were things in there that were put in there because they played another game during development and went, man, I really like mining rocks in Rust. Let's do that over here. We could actually make a mechanic. That's what it felt like. And that's never a good thing. And I think a lot of people feel the same way, just based on the player numbers.
Yeah, and to me, like that just really illustrates kind of the disconnect there too. It's like as someone who prefers to play like competitive multiplayer games, I don't play Rust because I don't like to sit there and click on rocks
Right.
or click on trees.
Yeah.
So you're bringing aspects of a different genre that I don't want to play into the game that I would be interested in. And I saw
Yeah.
some of that too.
Yeah. And
Or
that's
it
not
just
to
didn't
say
make
like,
sense.
I think there's some people out there that it will click with, and that's great. You know, enjoy the time that you have with it. Cause I don't think
Better
it's going to
get
be
your
long.
games in.
Yeah. Get your games in and enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with playing a free to play game. And let's say you get 40, 50 hours and you had fun, and then shit goes left and they have to, you know, downsize or whatever. Who cares? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's a free to play title. You didn't lose anything outside of a little bit of time if you played it. And obviously, I want them to win. I just don't think this is the concept for it. So that's our
Nope.
takes on
That's our takes.
Highguard.
What
Yeah.
man, so what do you think this means, just to wrap it up? What do you think this means for the game in this studio, and where do you see it going? Do you think they can turn the game around, or is it
The
it's gotta be
one,
so expensive to run it, man?
dude, yeah. The one glimmer of hope is, you pointed it out, the fact that they were so quick to bring in the 5v5. This isn't EA, right? They can work a little bit more nimble, and they can make those changes that can do something. Here's the thing. I think people aren't like, they're not jiving with the concept or the identity or the visuals of the game. If you want to make those changes to appeal to a demographic that isn't fucking with anything in that game, you're basically starting from scratch. So no, I don't think there's a way that this game turns around. I really don't. I think it dies within this year. I just do. And that's maybe it's a harsh truth, but I think if you make the changes that you need to get people to play it and be interested in it, it's no longer called Highguard, right? So that's my thoughts.
My hope, I think the game is probably not going to make it, based on what I've learned over the last few interviews we've done with how much it costs to run a damn game month to month with server and everything. I just hope it doesn't take the studio with them, and I hope the devs get another shot at something.
Me too.
They didn't take their chance to work on feedback in this game.
Yep.
Maybe they'll get I hope that they get an opportunity to go back to the drawing board, because like we talked about the whole time, they're obviously very talented.
Yep.
To put this together.
I agree.
So I hope they get another shot at it, man.
I'll leave it at this. I know we keep saying that, but I want to see Wildlight Entertainment take on a Titanfall type game.
Yeah.
They've been there. They know what it is, and they know that they have a fan base that is screaming for that concept. And I would love to see them do it, because I think they could, and I think it would be really good. So
maybe they could buy the IP from the Saudis.
I doubt that. They're going to keep that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I like to get out there sometimes.
Now, I'm going to pivot, because the reason this podcast was pushed back for Patreon members was because we had to respect an embargo in regards to this next topic. This is a shooter that I think has much broader appeal in the market space at where we're currently at in the market. And it's a game that you guys, if you're fans of this show, you've heard us talk about with Joe Brammer and Brian McCran a couple of episodes back. And that's a game called War Dogs. Now, at the time of recording this show, we literally just got given all of this information like an hour before we went into this recording. You've seen the trailer. We've seen the gameplay. This is going to be a little bit of an unstructured conversation, but first impressions of the trailer.
Yeah, man. It looks sick. The first trailer it looks great. By the time you guys see this, you guys have watched it too, so we'd love to hear from you in the comments and stuff. And Spotify has comments too, so hit those up. Yeah, dude, it looks great. The old man, like, that's been around the industry for a while now, instantly starts to pick out the things I see and the stuff I'm worried about.
Yeah,
because I always want these games to do well.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the trailer, like, I'll see a little bit of a framey spot. I'm like, oh man, it could be some bad optimization. And I'm like, man, this only one map. Is there going to be enough to keep people playing and stuff like that? And I need to quit doing that, because I just want to be excited again about a game. And this is one that you could do it, because it's a really unique concept, and as kind of a mirror to what they did on Highguard, they're actually listening to people, and this is going to go into early access. And I think based on what we talked about in our interview, these guys are going to be really quick to act on stuff and get it balanced, which I would love your take on that. Do we do a quick rundown of what the game is really quickly from what we got from the stuff?
I think that's the best part. Do you want to go off of the one pager that they gave us? Okay.
Yeah, I got this. So this is a game mode. It's a singular game mode on a singular big map, but it is a big map, 2 by 2 kilometers. So it's telling me it's a 256 kilometer squared map. I don't know what that is in freedom units. It's pretty big though, but it is inspired by King of the Hill. It's also going to have 3 by 3 teams. Three teams.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. Instead of just 2 teams, there will be 3. The first team to reach 100 points wins. You get points by being in the control zone. Think Arma King of the Hill. The variables in zone, location, and individual player tactics mean no match ever plays out the same. So that point is going to be in a different spot on that map as well.
Right.
And how they're doing it a little bit different too. We do PTFO around here. We just get on the point. Bellum, which we'll get into someday a little bit later, is one they want to do it different. We have to think about your life before you get on the point. They're doing something entirely new with War Dogs, which I think is pretty cool. Every player starts your journey with $10,000, and it's kind of about money. You gain and lose money based on the things you do in the match. And so one of their cool taglines is here: we don't encourage team play, we reward it. So I thought that was pretty cool. You get paid like a mercenary for doing stuff in game, for reviving people, for getting on the objective, for getting kills and stuff like that. But if you go a little too heavy PTFO and just keep dying, you're going to lose your money. So I think that is a really interesting mechanic. And what I'm so excited to see how it plays out is one of the things I feel like that maybe could be a little bit to the detriment of Battlefield is like, you just play a match and then it's done.
Yep.
And it's like, you didn't get anything out of it, other than maybe you had fun. You spent your time in Battlefield, had a good time, maybe playing with some friends and stuff like that. But I'm really interested to see a multiplayer type game. You know, it's not like a one life mode or anything, but we get to see a non-one life mode game with progression.
Yeah.
With, you know, keeping that money, carrying it, you get better stuff in the next time when you get paid by these outfits to go to battle for them as a mercenary.
Yep.
And then I think you can start to get some RPG elements with your character, you know, like which faction am I going to fight for? You know, maybe there'll be, I don't know this is me talking out of my butt, but maybe, you know, back at the menu screen, you'll have your cosmetics and stuff. You can dress your dude how you want to and kind of take ownership of your character, and then you're out for business. You know, you're going out to fight like a mercenary and do your thing and win money and stuff like that. But I would also love to hear your take on that progression and how balancing is going to be and stuff like that.
So I think the biggest thing we talk about when it comes to like the real indie FPSs is the lack of persistence and the lack of really anything to do, right? You play ground branch. You just go in, you do a mission, you shoot some AI and you're out, and then you do it again. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fight for. There's nothing for that. So the idea of persistence is always very interesting to me. On paper, I like what they're doing. I also, you know, you got to compare it to Battlefield. I'm sorry. I don't want to make those comparisons, but I mean, fuck me. Watching that trailer, that's Battlefield coded left, right, and center. But when you think about playing Battlefield and you have somebody who might consider not reviving you because it's really not worth their time to do so. With this, if you're rewarding a player for actually taking that action and playing as a team, that's a good thing. You and me both kind of talked right before we went, you know, into the recording here. How do you balance for that, right? When you have, you know, in the trailer, you have people transferring logistics trucks. You have people transporting teammates to the zone. You're getting paid for all of those things in game when you do it. How do you balance? Is it worth me transporting players from spawn to the point for the whole game? Can somebody who doesn't want to engage in combat earn enough money to make it worth their while to just transport people to the point and back?
Yeah.
Is it worth it to do that? And is it engaging enough to do that? Go ahead.
I would say to take that as, I feel like I interrupt you and I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
To take that a step further though, it's like, what if like some kind of, I don't want to even say a glitch, but like a super strong meta comes out where people can make a ton of money by doing one thing, and then everybody's going to do that.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, is there going to be wipes? Because what if like a bunch of people have a massive amount of money and other people don't?
Yep.
So like, I have a ton of questions still. Like it sounds really cool on paper,
Exactly.
but like you said with balance and like I'm talking about with economy, man,
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions because yeah, that could be a thing where some of the I'm assuming the better guns, the better ammo, the better armor, the better stuff is going to cost more.
Yep.
So then you could just start to see like some players taking on. I'm sure they thought of it. There might be gear-based matchmaking.
Right.
That
That's
would kind
true
of make
too.
sense to me.
Well,
That
and
might piss people off, but
another thing I'd like to see is, like you said, when you're outside of the match, you're at the main menu, customizing your guy or whatever. Is there going to be money dump things where you can take, let's say, because after a while, if I'm sitting here and I got 400 grand in the bank and to play an entire match, I don't have to care about my life because I have so much money. Is there going to be other things that you could dump money into in
yeah,
this meta game? Put money towards your faction and it unlocks you certain cosmetics or
yeah.
anything like that. Like they could go so deep with a system like this. Are they thinking about it when it comes to early access? Is it going to have all of those features in there? There's still a lot of questions. But that trailer got me going.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was cool, and if you guys haven't seen it, you definitely need to check it out. I'm sure Fry will probably put it on the channel if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube or Patreon.
yeah,
But yeah, it's got that battlefield DNA and it's combined arms. I guess I didn't mention that at the beginning, but
yeah,
there's destruction in it. It shows some shots of using RPG to take down some apartment buildings, shooting a chopper out of the sky.
yeah,
There's tanks, helicopters, that stuff's going on. So it's gonna be large scale, around 100 players
yeah.
in this big map fighting over this one big single point. So it's gonna be cool, man. I'm really interested in it because I don't think we played anything like this. I think of,
No.
when I think of money and trying to make money to buy better guns and stuff, I'm instantly thinking Tarkov, Arc Raiders, ABI, and then that's a raid base. You go on a raid, you loot, you
Right.
get out. We're going to have that kind of feeling of how well you perform because you want to buy better stuff in a respawn, all out warfare sandbox is going to be pretty cool, man. I'm very interested in it. There's something that I'm not thinking of that could totally break it.
Right.
But yeah, I hope they're thinking about that stuff because exactly what you mentioned, I wish ABI would do, and I hope they do it here. Maybe have some kind of super wild cosmetic that everybody can see that you can wear on any faction that costs $100 million or
Right.
something crazy. So you encourage people to wipe, or maybe they'll have a prestige system like Tarkov does, where you get
Right.
some really unique stuff if you wipe your character. But just ways to keep people, because rewarding people for team play is great as long as people still give a shit about that reward.
Exactly.
So you have to keep people wanting to get money.
Exactly. So there has to be some sort of wipe system or, like I said, some sort of money dump that keeps them on the treadmill. The one thing in this one pager that I want to talk about or at least mention, there's prox chat. Did you catch that in there?
I missed that.
Yeah,
in my
at the
fog.
very bottom. So it's 100% player driven and tied together with local voice chat to either talk tactics with
Oh,
teammates
yeah.
or troll enemy players. Now we've talked about that with ABI and even comparing it to Arc Raiders. I think every game needs this.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to worry about it being like, man, you got 100 players, like that's going to be so much going on.
Yeah.
But I remember they did it in Battle Bit, and it was hilarious
awesome.
in Battle Bit.
Yeah.
With a ton of stuff going on. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't see that either. I'm all for that. I
Yeah.
think they need it. ABI is supposed to do it this season, at some time, but yeah, there's been so many times I wish I could talk,
Yeah.
to the other players. But no, that's gonna be great. Screaming for revives and
Oh,
yelling
yeah.
at other players around corners and just
100%.
talking shit. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, super cool. But yeah, outside of that, guys, like it's your typical all-out warfare experience. 3v3v3, king of the hill, kind of, fighting over control points, earning money, persistence. It looks really, really cool. I'm sure Crash and I are both going to have videos on our channels. And if you guys want to hear even more about the inner workings at, Bulkhead and what they've gone through to get to this point, a few episodes back, we had Joe Brammer and Brian McCran on. Joe obviously being like head honch at Bulkhead, Brian McCran being their community manager. You guys might know him as Lossy, old school Battlefield YouTuber. We had a great conversation that kind of went into the inner workings of the studio and kind of how they brought this game to fruition. So make sure you guys go watch that episode as well. And just keep an eye on War Dogs. Play test soon, I guess. I don't know when. I don't know if we have any dates, Q2 maybe, but by the time you guys see this, everything should be out in the open. So Very cool.
Yep.
I'm excited.
And that episode was the January 9th episode.
Yeah.
So just so you guys can find that where we talked about that. And the story behind this game in the studio is insane.
It's
So
fucking
the December
incredible.
they had was wild
Yeah.
through the holidays.
Um,
So definitely check that out, and it might give you a little bit more understanding of what's going on behind the scenes with this game. But I think if I take a bird's eye view of this, so far what I've seen, I'm 100% on board with.
yeah.
We got a lot of questions on longevity content, how they're going to balance this monster.
Yeah.
And that all remains to be seen. But from what we've seen so far, it sounds cool, man. It sounds like one of the, to counterpoint Highguard, one of the times where they're taking mechanics from two different games, it seems like it could work out pretty well.
Right. And you know, even on top of, we didn't even talk about like the aesthetic, the vibes, very militaristic, right? But the concept itself already excites me. And I think this is going to appeal to way more people than a game like Highguard
And
does.
even breaking into that appeal just a little bit more. I'm sorry to keep this going a long time, but I just love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think it's, and I take an introspective look at myself. It's easier for me to get immersed in these kind of games because I could like picture me living out I'm a badass mercenary fantasy.
For
and
sure.
I'm going in to do it, where it's like, wait, I'm riding a hamster with a shotgun and a shield thing with wings. I don't know. So like, I just feel like these have a bigger audience, and I don't know if I have confirmation bias or whatever, but it just seems like it's easier to immerse yourself in this setting because we live in this world.
For sure.
I think to do like what our graders did is insane.
Yeah.
To get somebody into that like fantasy space, you really have to sell it with the gameplay and the storytelling. So like our creators kind of has that storytelling to get you in there. It's like cool, super cool lore and world building.
Yeah.
Highguard did none of that shit. On this kind of game, you don't have to, because you get to pretend to be a war hero. You get to pretend to be a badass mercenary that goes and fights. And that's why a lot of people like to play games. And it's super easy to immerse yourself in this shit, because this is, like I said, this is the world we live in. You think that's like kind of the reason these appeal to more people, seemingly?
I think so too. Counterpoint to that is I think War Dogs is going to run into a little bit of a problem where it's a been there, done that scenario.
True.
Watch when this trailer comes out and look at the official, trailer on their channel and watch some of the comments. I'm curious to see. I think there's going to be a subset of vocal people who go, okay, why would I play this when I could just play King of the Hill, or I could just play Arma, or I could just play Battlefield, or there's going to be comparisons to World War III, or like, so I feel like while it is easier to get immersed in stuff like this, there are also a lot of games that look like this that I think might turn people off as well. So it might be a double-edged sword there. But I do agree with your overall sentiment. Yeah.
Cool, man. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to play the damn thing.
Hell yeah. I what I want to do, I want to see the reception to all of this, and then I want to get Joe back on the fucking podcast so I can interrogate the hell out of him about the actual features of this thing and ask some of those questions. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
All right, guys. With that, I think it's time to move over to the patch notes.
All right, guys, welcome to the patch notes, the more bite-sized news story portion of the show. We got a few interesting things to talk to you guys about today. One of them, this show is actually crazy with all the new stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Core with a 3.
Yeah.
An E. Came from Nikita. I don't know if we still don't know if it's from Nikita or BSG. I feel like Nikita holds the copyright stuff to that. So my first thought when I see Core as a sci-fi space extraction shooter potentially is we get to see it in 10 to 15 years.
Yep.
So that'll be good.
Yep.
Hope the show's still going.
So I don't know if you guys know, but Core was kind of teased like a month ago. They had this weird little like ARG on their website, which I will say was actually pretty cool. You could like go onto a terminal, you can search through files and documents, and you can kind of piece together the fact that there's this sci-fi. I don't even know if it's an extraction shooter. To be honest, we don't really know much about it, but they just dropped their first teaser. What we do know is it's a first-person shooter, hard sci-fi. The rumor mill is that it's going to be on Mars or on a Mars-like planet. And in the trailer, you see this first-person perspective. It starts to pull away, and you can see this like war-torn planet pulls out into space, orbital debris. You can see like space stations like ripped apart, abandoned structures, and then it comes back to somebody who's just like dead in the middle of the air. First thoughts. What do you think?
Man, my first thought is really questions, and it goes to scale. Like, what is the scale of this? Are we
Right.
traveling to multiple planets? Is this on a massive planet? Like, how big is it? Or are we getting more bite-sized maps, kind of like Tarkov ABI or the traditional extraction shooters, or any kind of shooter
Right.
that we've got before? I'm very interested in scale because with space, you have no fucking idea what scale is. Could be
Sure.
big or as little, as you can make it. But it seems pretty cool. I have some questions on what they're doing with lore, right? Like, it's allegedly supposed to take place in 2251 as stuff hit the fan on Earth. That's pretty believable.
Yep. I would say so.
and,
Yep.
yeah, but I'm just interested to see if it fits in the Tarkov canon or not. I feel like it's kind of not going to, but it would be kind of cool if it did, if everything hit the fan after the events that were played out in Escape from Tarkov, and then shit had to go to space.
Yeah.
Would be pretty cool. It I can't help but think also, is this the reason Tarkov 1.0 feels like we're just going to start calling it 1.0? This is the game. And so they could work on this kind of stuff. Because if you guys remember, Nikita had plans of taking Tarkov all open world, hooking all the maps together, had all these big grand ideas that he talked about doing with Tarkov. And like
Yep.
none of that happened. And we just called it 1.0. And is that,
Well, and I
I don't
also
know.
thought that after Tarkov, BSG was supposed to be working on, what was it, Russia 2056 or something like that. Like that was going to be their next title. It
Yeah.
was going to be like a Tarkov, like in that world. So the fact that this is out or is being worked on and it's completely separate from the Russia kind of Tarkov area, that interests me for sure.
Yeah.
I think if it's a BSG project, which again, it's weird that we don't know yet if it's Battle State or if it's another studio that Nikita started. I'm going to venture to say it's Battle State, right? Like it would make sense. I can't imagine Nikita starting a different studio in a different company with a different dev team to do something separate. That just seems weird, but we still don't know, which is weird. But this is the first like non-Tarkov project associated with Nikita, who, like him, hate him, whatever. I think he's one of the most like influential when it comes to the extraction space. Like he kind of pioneered and took the space to where it is today,
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
interesting.
I think you put him up there with like Brendan Green,
Yep.
that did PUBG, and you have like Dean Hall that did Daisy and survival shooters, and
Yep.
then Nikita with extraction. Like he
Mhm.
fits that kind of like the dude.
I agree.
Maybe he wasn't like, it came from a lot of different inspirations to get to where Tarkov is, but I'm just saying like
For sure.
popularized it. Let's say that.
Yeah,
the
popularize it.
extraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah. So I think that's cool.
you got to pay attention to it, right? With like that name behind it, you got to pay attention to it.
Yep.
And then if I'm like letting my brain run and like how cool it could be, like it'd be kind of sweet if it was like a Starfield for adults, like if you like a super gritty, shitty, like you have to go around to different planets and do different things all the way up. Would up to the scale of Star Citizen. I'm sure it's not that massive, but like I don't know. I'm just very interested in the scale of it, and the lore sounds really cool. They already got all this stuff with the ARG going, where you can look through all those files. There's a bunch of lore already about it, which is cool and helps with immersion.
Yeah.
And it looks dark and gritty. And the thing about space too is, I mean, it gives you can run with it, or you can fall and smash your face with it. Is it gives you the creative flexibility to do pretty much anything, right? You're not stuck in Russia anymore building Tarkov. You can do different planets with different crazy stuff going on, to build any kind of tech because you're in 2251.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if that extra creativity space is good or bad.
Yeah. For me, my brain goes to, is this Tarkov coded in, maybe you have to rebuild a space station, and to go down to a raid would be, you could go to multiple different planets, which gives you access to multiple different biomes. You're not stuck in Russia, and it would give you an opportunity to experiment with different things. You have a winter planet, an ice planet, one that's like lush with jungles, one that's very bright and vibrant, and then you have the dark and gritty one. There's so many things they could do there, but there's so much media speculation around it. Not a lot of people have really any clue what we're looking at, and I think that was on purpose. And I think just based on the ARG thing they had, where you're looking up, lost records and logs, and there's like fragmented data that you're trying to put together. I I think we're going to hear more in kind of little bite-sized pieces like this for the next little while. We'll see. Like you said, it's kind of hard not to pay attention to, right? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Am I excited? Honestly, fuck no. Like, it's cool, sure,
I'm
but
interested, not excited.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at. Yeah, I'm curious. Because I mean, in a lot of conversations we've been having, man, just watching developers go from one project to upgrading to the next one. What does that look like to see an upgraded dev team from Tarkov? It could be cool.
Yep. Yeah. So in the spirit of bite-sized news articles, let's pop on over to Road to Vostok, man.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So a little bit of Crash lore. The other podcast that I do, the Scope, we interviewed Auntie back in December 20th of 2022, episode 49.
Holy
yeah. So we interviewed him clear back at the end of 2022. So if you guys want a really interesting look about what he was up to, what he was thinking, what he was doing with the game then, and how he planned stuff out, and the fact that this one dude gave us a roadmap in 2022 and nailed almost every aspect of it, and switched engines with the Unity bullshit that we talked about in our other interview. He switched engines to Godot and still maintained hitting all his stuff on his roadmap. It is crazy. But Road to Vostok's coming out. If you guys haven't seen it, it's another single player survival shooter. Takes place in a demilitarized zone between Finland and Russia.
Yep.
And there's a lot of really cool mechanics in this. When he talked about it, how it's got kind of the starter area, and then there's almost mini games in transition boundary areas to get to the next area, and the next area is getting to Vostok.
Yeah,
is where it's the AI is insane, the loot's really good, you're probably gonna die. He's added so much to the game since we spoke. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool, and I'm really happy for Auntie to get this to this point. It's such a huge deal, man, for nearly a single guy. He's had people come in and help him with some modeling stuff. He's paid some folks to do some animations and things like that, but the studio is him.
Yeah.
And he's doing, sees 95% of the work on it, and it looks really cool. There's been a demo out too that you can give feedback on. He fixes stuff really fast. I still think you can go to Steam and check out the demo, and it's crazy. It's super smooth, really optimized, and there's a lot of really in-depth mechanics, from weapon customization, all the survival mechanics. He's added traders. He's got a hideout you can level up.
There's fishing now.
Yeah,
there's so much shit.
I saw in the trailer he's out on a boat. You can go out on a boat and fish. Most fishing in games, you stand on the bank, I have to do because I'm poor and don't have a boat. But you in this game, you're in it, man. You can go out and and what's also neat about the game is, if you do get interested in it and have the time, he has chronicled the entire build of it. You can go to the very first devlog and talk about it and follow the entire process and what he's worked on and how he's went out. I just remember watching, I just reminiscing a little bit, watching some of the old devlogs where he was actually going out into the Finnish wilderness and taking pictures of old abandoned buildings for textures. He went out in the forest and researched all this stuff and did this stuff. And he's also of a military background, and talking about how that affected him and kind of shaped how he looks at things and does development. And it's just cool. It's a cool story, and I wish him the best. I hope the game's good. And yeah, I'm excited to give it a go. We'll see. I don't think I've really ever got super into a single player game. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
This one will be fun. So if you guys don't know, just to wrap this up, April 7th, 2026, it's going to early access. €14.99. It's about $20 US, which I didn't expect as well. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So that's cool. So
yeah, and if you're on the fence, check out the demo now. You can go play it and mess around in the world, in the engine, and see kind of what it's about. And then if you're still on the fence about it, you can go watch devlogs and see what's in the game and stuff. So it's just a really neat story, and I hope the game's awesome, and I look for giving it a go.
100%. And then the last piece of news for the patch notes, kind of circling back to an old love for both of us, Rainbow Six just announced today that they have a new creative director in Joshua Mills. That guy. The guy I think they modeled Blackbeard after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also the guy that said, fuck cheaters.
Yeah, that
and then
guy.
It was the opposite.
Yeah, it was the cheaters fucked you. Yeah.
Yeah. they got hacked. The game got hacked like 3 times after that in rapid succession.
Yeah. So what I will
I don't know what
say
this means.
Well, the full reveal for Rainbow Six Siege, which I think now they're getting rid of the X. It's no longer Rainbow Six Siege X. It's just back to Siege now.
Yeah, Fry, that was meant to be just year 10. 10 is Roman numeral. Didn't you know that?
That is the biggest load of shit that I've ever fucking heard.
Everybody knew that, Fry.
Yeah, everybody knew it 100%. But the full reveal is happening February 15th, and on the the cusp of that, Alexander Karpazes, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Karpazes. He was the creative director for the last 8 years, and now he's stepping down into, I don't know if I think he's stepping down from the studio completely. It's not like he's stepping into a new role.
Why would anyone want to leave Ubisoft? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if the game itself will change too much, because it feels like he's kind of been in an apprenticeship role. The other thing I do want to, for the last 4 years, I think he said in his letter. Yeah. But yeah, man, shout out to Karpazes. Honestly, I just have kind of fond memories of that dude. I love the game and just watching him do all the reveals and stuff. So he's like a familiar face to me. But I will also let you guys know, right now the 6 Invitational is going on for the next 2 weeks. So this is like the World Championships of Siege. Yeah. And it always gives me the itch to play when I watch it, man. I've been watching it.
Some of the boys have re-downloaded it. So I think we're going to be playing again soon.
I never left my PC, man.
Yeah.
Never left. But oh man, I have some of my favorite memories of gaming, just playing Rainbow Six. So it's a special time of the year for Siege. That's some big news. I don't know what that's going to change. It'll be interesting to see if the direction of Siege, like, what his influence will be on it moving forward, will be something to definitely tune into. But I feel like Siege is one of like the last rays of sunshine for Ubisoft. But
and that's why I don't think there's going to be any like crazy changes, right? I think he's got to kind of keep it like locked in and don't fuck this up type. Don't fuck this up, kid. Like
yeah. Go get him, Tiger.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to try it again though. It's been a while.
But I would also let people know, man, check out some invitational gameplay, man. They do a good job with the production level of it. It's pretty good. I've seen viewerships down a little bit, but I don't know. February has always been a special time, and then the year 11 reveal will be. They usually do it right before the championship match on the following weekend. So that would be like the next Sunday.
Yep,
is when they have the 6 invitational championships. But most of the players I used to follow are gone. There's a few names I remember, so I'm rooting for those. Canadians still there. Old head.
Yeah, I've never been much into the esports in terms of like memorizing players or teams or anything like that. But every time I do watch it, it's just like you said, it gives me the itch. I just want to jump back in. I'll never be that good, but it's so much fun.
And that's the cool part about esports. Like, people make fun of me for watching it and stuff sometimes, but it's just cool because it's like you see professionals do it, and then you're like, I can go home and hop in a ranked match and do the same, like not the same thing, but like I can play the same game. Yeah. Like, it's like, or, I can sit here and watch football all the time, and it's like, I can't find like 16 of my closest friends and go out and, organize a football game or whatever. But it's kind of cool to watch professionals do it and say, hey, I can go to my office and play that same game.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's kind of cool. The cool part about esports. I could go on a whole diatribe about how they need to fix esports. Ubisoft, call me. I'll fix it.
Well, we'll see what happens in the future. They might be not able to call many people as their company implodes. But
hey, maybe if things keep going, I'll be able to buy son of a bitch, fix it myself.
Right, that is true.
It's getting cheaper by the day. Biggest stakeholder newbie.
Yeah, 10 cent. Anyways, I think with that, guys, let's jump into the sleeper hits. All right, guys, welcome to the Sleeper Hits. This is like even more bite-sized than the patch notes. Just a chance for us to kind of give a couple of shout-outs to things that we are seeing in the industry that are coming out, new games and whatever else. And the first thing I wanted to jump into was Out of Action, which is an action-packed PvP FPS. It just dropped into early access. It's being developed, again, much like Road to Vostok, by a solo developer named Doku, who is in my opinion, alongside Anti, alongside guys like Frinky, one of the most talented, FPS developers out there. His game just dropped, almost like a shadow drop into early access. It's an action-packed PvP FPS. There's deep progression, replayable. There's offline against bots. You can play online, and it's kind of like Ghost in the Shell meets John Wick with a bunch of different like augments and things that you can, change about your characters and your loadouts. It's crazy. It's over the top, action packed, slow motion, going invisible, diving
There's like
through
bullet
windows.
time stuff too, effects
Bullet
and
time.
things like
Yeah,
that.
it's insane. Is this
Yeah.
something that you would play?
Yeah, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And what's shout out to him too. Like he's sitting at 78.9% positive reviews.
Yeah.
On Steam DB it says 83.7 of the 650 reviews are positive. So
He did
83.
good. I think he announced the second day he'd sold over 10,000 copies already. So he's doing really good. It's a game that I've covered on the channel in the past. A lot of YouTubers actually covered this one when he had a demo out a couple of years ago, and it went viral. So he's doing really well. So I wanted to take this opportunity to give him a little shout out and let you guys know that it has released if you didn't know.
Yeah, because this man just pulled off what like some big studios can't even get an FPS
Right.
PvP game done. So
Yeah.
he did it. So
Yeah, exactly.
definitely worth talking about, man. It's pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely. And then we have a game that I haven't played in a little while. I don't know about you.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I still watch Geeks I
Me
still
too.
watch him stream it. Yeah,
Yep.
He's still into it, man.
Yeah, he's kind of my
So-
only connection point to the Delta Force kind of creator community at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
We're
I
talking
watch
about
his stuff.
obviously Delta Force. They just dropped their new Morphosis season.
I'm gonna go with Morphosis.
Morphosis. So if you guys are into Delta Force, or if it's been a while since you've played it, they just dropped this new season. There's new events and cosmetics, and there's a new map called Aftershock, which I'm gonna throw it up on screen here for everybody watching, visually. Does this not look more Battlefield coded than Battlefield 6 right now?
Yeah.
Do you
It
see?
seems like, I mean, we've talked about this game being like heavily inspired by Battlefield. Their warfare mode.
Yeah.
But dude, the skyscraper is like Siege of Shanghai-ish, man. That thing
Yeah.
comes down, dude.
Like
We
the
haven't
first thing
seen
I
that in
said when we
Battlefield.
watched it was Levolution.
Yeah.
I miss it. Like now I'm looking over the fence at BF6. I'm like, man, why did we move away from this kind of like grand scale? I know some people didn't like it, but this just looks fucking awesome to me.
Yeah, and the stuff they added to the operations mode, which is the extraction mode, which what I was more interested when I did play it.
Yeah.
They got a new mode. They are revamped the Space City map, so the sweaty PvP map they did with some new areas. There's a new boss. There's some new red items. Matchmaking adjustments. They got a new boss interest event that looks like it's aquatic. There's a flood that floods the lab, so like Levolution even in the operations mode. Different ammo types. There's some new guns, MCX. There's a new shotgun, new operator, which is kind of what broke the game for me. This crazy hero shooter operator abilities. But the extraction mode I always commended, man. It was really well put together, and it fit on a really good spot as far as like arcadey versus. It's kind of where what ABI filled for me, like an extraction shooter that gives me those extraction shooter moments, but it's
Yeah.
like quality of life out the ass.
Yeah, I look at like ABI is Tarkov coded, whereas I think Delta Force was more DMZ coded in a way. It feels a
Mhm.
little bit more arcadey, has that Call of Duty player controller. Both really good games, and yeah, I like the operations mode. I haven't played it in a long time, but I'm definitely gonna be going back at least for the warfare. I want to try this Aftershock map because it looks.
Yeah, I just want to see it because
Yeah.
it is kind of a cool. It probably wasn't a shot at Battlefield or whatever, but it just made you notice, like, damn, like they did what Battlefield fans have been asking for a really long time.
Yeah. I think the big thing is Battlefield 6 has that classic gameplay where it's less about the hero abilities and the operators and stuff like that. Whereas I think you look at Delta Force, I think their map design and the actual like the world around you was way more Battlefield at least in this season anyway. So I don't know. You can't get the full complete picture on either game, but this map looks really fucking cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And that's about it for the sleeper hits this week, guys. We had a shit ton of stuff up top, and we've been just kind of keeping our eyes to the the industry and seeing what we can find. But outside of that, we do have a couple of questions from our patrons this week. So let's get into the Patreon party chat. All right, guys, this is the portion of the show, the Patreon party chat, where we ask you guys to ask us questions, and then we can throw them on the show and discuss basically anything you guys want to talk about, from FPS to third-person shooters to everything in between. We do have a couple of questions this week. This one is from Academics. And I'm just going to ask you straight. Any new third-person shooters to keep an eye on in the coming future?
You know me,
what do you think?
I live third-person shooters. If there's a wall out there, I'm smelling it, dude.
Yeah,
I am
absolutely.
playing Fortnite ballistic mode. I am balls deep in Arc Raiders. I play in Caliber.
Oh,
if it's a third-person shooter, I'm doing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, absolutely.
To answer your question, no, I don't really have any third-person shooters that I'm looking into. Really?
Yeah, I don't either. Honestly,
there's not many of them anymore, man.
Arc Raiders,
it's massive though.
I'm trying to think of what's like coming down the pipe. Third person. I guess you could say the Expanse game from Owlcat. That's going to be third person. Oh, go ahead.
It's not a new game, but like we talked about it before, that Division 2 realism mode.
Oh yeah.
So the anniversary is coming up for, man, I'm coming up with third person stuff. Where you at, man?
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
The Division 2 is with their anniversary update that's coming out pretty soon. They're adding a realism mode. So I was really interested in playing that. Basically, it's like minimal HUD. The caliber of your weapon has to do with how much damage it does. It's basically like a hardcore Division mode.
Yeah.
In the third person, but I would have said Ghost Recon, but I think that one is still on tap to be first person. So
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than if I was really trying to think of something third person I was looking forward to, I think it would be the Division 2 realism mode. I'd love to check that out.
Yep. No, that's a good one. That's probably the only one on the radar at this point.
I can't think of any others, man.
Yep. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. There's not really a lot to look forward to in that space, right? So
pretty doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's pretty dry out there. The next question comes from a Lonely Fades. Where do you see the military FPS genre going in the future? And what a perfect episode to ask that, Lonely Fades, because I think we talked about it already on this show, and I think War Dogs is the next evolution of the military FPS. What do you think? Am I crazy? Am I off with that?
I think it's the next thing to potentially do that. It's got to be something like that. It's got to be something that does it new, like does something we haven't seen before, because I just think with how fast Battlefield has gotten stale for people, I mean, that's also a little bit on DICE with their really slow, live service model.
Yeah.
But in just how like COD's kind of just the same stuff every year, we need something like War Dogs to flip it on its head and give us some of that stuff. And man, I think it's got the most shot of anything I've heard of.
Yep.
Bellum's another one doing different stuff too. Just games that are trying to find different reasons to value your life in game.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with limited respawns in Bellum. They're doing that with money in War Dog. So any way to make your life mean something, to add some more tension to the game, beyond just I'm just going to go respawn and fly back at the flag, is where it's going to go. So I'm hopeful to see that. Yeah, I don't know. The next Arma is going to be pretty crazy if we're really talking military stuff.
Yep.
With what they've learned from Reforger, that'll be something to keep an eye on. But yeah, outside of, I think your two candidates are Bellum and War Dogs to change stuff in the near future.
Yeah. And then obviously, what Arma 4 is 2027, right? That's the slated year. We'll see if it hits it. But yeah, that's probably going to be like the next evolution, which I think is also going to lead to even more mod support. And then that's going to be the next era of military FPS, I think. Yeah. And then one more question from Academics here, kind of related to what we're talking about. Any thoughts on how Bellum's development is going? Have you been following Bellum?
A little bit. So we
Yeah.
had Karma on our podcast as well, talking about some of that stuff, and it was interesting. And they just put out a patch note that I was like, damn. They have playtest weekends going on right now.
Yep.
Let me try to pull this up. Weekend 5 patch notes. So they did a patch note, but it was like something you would see in like an early access game. On the map, they expanded terrain detail, they improved cover and concealment, they added new fields and point of interest, they added a new rocket that produces 1,000 real fragments in game. It simulates fragmentation. They added like a Russian thermobaric round. They added the Carl Gustav cannon. They added new machine guns and launchers, and they changed like the movement balance around them, which applies while aiming down sights. They added a new mechanic, dude. This is cool. You probably haven't seen this. A cross-loading mechanic. You can hand another player a magazine. You can load their gun for them.
Oh, wow.
So like if your homie's out of bullets or out of ammo, you can hand them a mag and they can grab a mag from you and
That
like
is
load it in.
wild.
So they added that, and the animations and stuff were there. And I'm like, this is just like, I'm reading this stuff on like a weekend 5 patch note, so you don't expect anything. And then they added stuff like that. So they said they did that to design to rebalance ammo after engagements, like how you deal with getting more ammo on the field, and your buddies can hand you a magazine. So
That's so cool.
that was pretty cool. They added free look. They added a focus zoom that simulates eye focus when you're looking at targets. And this was just like, yeah, they said they upgraded their medical system to 2.5. How they changed how headshots cause unconsciousness, increased their damage area to the A zone, pelvic girdle hit. Like there's
It's an actual
tons
patch.
of stuff, man. They upgraded to Unreal Engine 5.7.1.
Yeah.
Weekend patch 5 notes.
Hell
So,
yeah.
all that
Yeah.
to say, I haven't played it yet, but reading it, like that's pretty wild for just they're in super early testing for a weekend test, and they added all that stuff.
So
It's
for
pretty
me, watching Bellum, when I first heard the announcement, first saw it, Karma Cut, run studio. All right, cool. I assumed that it was going to be a small group of people who are just working on this. And then I spoke to him in LA when we went to the Battlefield event, because he was there as well. And we spent some time together, and I was asking him, just talking game dev and stuff. It's a studio. Like this isn't like we were a small team, and we had our own trials. He's running like there's like 30 people on that team. I think there's more now. Like it's a full fucking studio. And so when I heard that, I was like, holy shit, like this is a real production. And to your point, like the updates that are coming to the game are real updates. It's not just bullshit patches. So the progress has been actually insane to see. There are some questions. I haven't played the game yet. He has invited me, but I just haven't sat down for a weekend and jumped into a play test. And I need to, because there's some things that I don't think appeal to somebody like me anymore. I used to be big in Arma. And then, just seeing the more like the medical system and kind of like how realistic it is, and how at some points I feel like it might be a little too tedious, or the reloading and loading the belts in. And there's some aspects of it where I feel like, in contrast to our interview with Joe, where I don't know if they've lost sight of like, it's still a video game at the end of the day. And so I have to experience it for myself. I just need to sit down and play it. We're trying to schedule something in the future where we bring Karma on the show and we can actually talk about it. But I do want to make sure that before that happens, I can actually get my hands on and just know what the hell we're actually talking about. You haven't played it yet, have you?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not.
It looks cool. It's genuinely impressive how far the game has come, and how like it's like it's
I
a
don't
real
and I don't
game.
want to say that I haven't played it as like I haven't been following it, because I've been following the shit out of it. Like I've been watching all the new the update vids and following along on their Twitter. Their patch notes are, like I said, dude, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts
what they're adding to the game. So
yeah,
all that to say, academics, I think it's looking pretty good, man.
Hell yeah.
Excited to get down the road.
Hell yeah. And with that, guys, that was our patron party chat. If you guys want to get involved with the conversation, ask us questions, make sure you guys head over to patreon.com/BigFry. You get early access to the episodes, you get exclusive videos and live streams from me, and you get to be a part of the show. every episode. So appreciate you guys asking those questions.
Back to the lobby.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it. All right, guys, welcome back to the lobby where we wrap stuff up and kind of our thoughts on what we've been over and what's ahead. And man, I'm just kind of reflecting. It's been kind of crazy for Friday. This is the second episode we've recorded in 2 days. So we've been at it with the show, and it's been awesome, man. And I'm excited for you guys to see what we worked on yesterday. The Patreon folks are going to see it way early, so that by the time you're watching this extra episode will probably be in your Patreon inboxes, if not right around the corner.
Yep.
And then for the YouTube folks, it's going to be like a weekly show for a little bit. Get a check one out next week. That's an extra special interview that was really cool, and just been a fun ride, man. We've had a great show with just us today, and yesterday recording that interview was so awesome, and I've just been having a ton of fun doing this, man.
Yeah, man. I think, what is this, 10 episodes in, something like that, 9 episodes in.
And you haven't fired me. I'm excited.
I've been enjoying the hell out of it, man. Like I think the numbers are showing too. Like, it's growing every week. People are enjoying. They're tuning in more. It's fucking dope. And yeah, we have 2 dev interviews now. The next one next week is an insane one. Tune into that one as well. And then we're constantly, like, on top of the editing, the recording, the coming up with the show notes. We're also getting more people kind of scheduled in for the future. Like, shit's been kind of crazy this last month or so.
What's the next week look like for Big Fry? What do you got on the plan for content and streams and all that stuff? Anything cool coming up?
So actually, one thing we should have said in the sleeper hits was PUBG. What's the top-down game coming out? By the time this goes public, Blind Spot will be out in early access. So this is going out on Friday. Tonight, if you're watching this day one, I'll be streaming on Twitch playing Blind Spot. I'll have a video on that. I'm going to be keeping up with the Ashes of Creation bullshit going on. War Dogs is about to be a big one on the channel. I'll have videos. We'll have this podcast. Next week, I don't even know what's when's Battlefield? I mean, that's
17th. It's still a ways out.
Oh my
it's still
God,
a couple weeks. Dude.
Why is it? It feels like it's been a month since we've talked about. Oh, so that's 2 weeks out. Yeah,
time, dude.
Jesus. So honestly, man, I don't even know. I don't know what's going on.
Playing Siege.
I will be playing Siege. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Actually, you're not wrong. I mean,
it's a tractor beam pulling you in.
It's one of these things where I've been playing a shit ton of Deadlock, but I don't think this is the platform to talk about it. I love Deadlock, but it's a game that I don't think appeals to you. It's third person. It's a MOBA. It's completely out of the norm of what this platform is. But that's what I've been playing. Deadlock. I'll be playing Siege, and
I've been I played a little Hunt Showdown.
Yeah,
I might get back into that a little bit.
What's bringing you there?
It's just fun. Like
fair enough.
It really is. The audio's insane. Like, just the aesthetic of the game is cool, but it's first person. But like, I kind of like the derpy ass gunfights with the super old stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, you can stab somebody with a spear, or like, there's just like an ABI, like, it's fun and to get in that modern stuff, but like, everybody's flying around corners with full auto M4s and HKs and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, I got a fucking lever gun and you got a spear, and let's sort this out. Like, it's just kind of cool. Like, it's that different that, like, I've had that before. You know, it's like, this guy's like hit me in the leg with a knife, and I'm about dead, and I got 1 shot left in this lever gun, so I gotta hit this thing, and he's strafing and I'm strafing, and like, just some hilarious fights.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's a cool concept, and it draws me in sometimes, just because it's such a change up. But still fun.
For sure. Yeah. No. I'll also probably be finishing Red Dead Redemption 2 finally at some point here in the near future.
You getting near the end?
Yeah, I'm on the last chapter, and then I think there's 2 epilogue chapters, which I don't know what the fuck that's about. But yeah, I'm in the final stretch now. So
I also bought Fallout 76 on sale. It had a weekend sale.
Oh, dude. Okay.
And people have been talking about that a ton.
Have you been playing it? Have you played it at all?
I haven't played it. No.
Oh, okay.
I played it on a free weekend, like, long time ago.
Yeah.
And then now I just bought it because it was like $7 over the weekend. The show's got everybody all hyped up. And
yeah. Well, the final episode just dropped a couple hours ago. So
yeah.
And the countdown on the website is still on for tomorrow. So by the time this drops, The rumor is that Fallout New Vegas remasters are shadow dropping, right?
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen there. We'll see.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff there. That's a game I've always wanted to get into.
Fallout,
but I've
never played
been
them.
able to. I never have.
Man. Well, yeah, I guess you're not a big single player guy though, but
Not really. But I
it-
mean, 76 has multiplayer stuff and like co-op, and you can hang with your friends and do stuff. And
Yeah.
I've wanted to get into single player stuff. But
Yeah. I think I want to see Crash play Red Dead Redemption. I think that's just your life. You probably don't even want to. That's what you do every day. When I'm playing Arthur Morgan, I'm playing as Crash. That's just
I'm
how
like, man, I
feel.
got to ride another horse. I got to feed this thing.
Oh,
It's probably
yeah.
got vet bills and
Yeah.
like, it's too real, man.
Yeah, no shit. No, man. No, I've been enjoying the show, dude. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and just shooting the shit with me every couple of weeks.
Yeah,
here.
dude, it's been
nice.
an honor that you asked me to, and I don't know why I'm talking like this is the last one, but I
Right.
just appreciate it, and I hope the people don't hate me too much because they're probably always like, "Who the hell is this guy?" But
No,
I appreciate everyone putting up with me, man.
hell yeah. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, if you want to come hang out, I'm on twitch.tv/crash8 quite a bit of the time. I hate the 8, but it's there. Then yeah, Crash Game on YouTube. I will also be talking about War Dogs. I think things are going to be picking up for Gray Zone as well, and I have some ABI things I want to talk about on the channel too, as well as my other podcast with Buff and Blue. That is a weekly one where we get into FPS news and talk with those guys, which is pretty cool. So if you like more podcast type stuff, I do another one of those over there. And then FPS_Crash on X, and I tweet out stuff more about my family and hunting stuff and my deer that I chase and horses and all that stuff, because I do have a couple horses and do all that.
Hell yeah. You're just out there being a fucking man.
And then when I get a move, I'm doing a homesteading channel.
I'm excited to see that. Yeah. I was actually hoping you were going to say that, because that excites me.
It.
Yeah. You should.
It could be a cool ass story, because like the foundation of my great granddad's house from 1890 is still there. So I just have visions of opening up my first video where my great granddad settled.
That's crazy.
Like this is where we are.
You have to. You'll literally be like Outdoor Boys, but jacked. Like, you have to fucking do it.
I'm not going that outdoors. That dude broke outdoors. He went way too out of doors.
Yeah, that dude. I don't think he's ever been inside. That shit is fucking nuts.
He's an animal. Alaska is a different beast, dude.
Yeah. I watched him ride a little canoe through like these crazy ice structures in the middle of the fucking Atlantic or wherever the fuck he was.
He's a dog.
Yeah, crazy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Thanks for filming it, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And as always, guys, BigfryTV everywhere. Search me up. And if you guys enjoyed the show, do us a favor, leave a like on it, do all the good stuff. Rate us 5 stars wherever you're watching, listening, wherever. We appreciate you tuning in regardless. And we'll see you on the next one. This has been your Push to Talk podcast.